Hello everyone, welcome to Lukman IS. Today we are going to have the Hindu analysis of 28th March 2021. So let us see which are the important articles in today's The Hindu newspaper. Yes, these are the important articles for mains purpose and for prelims purpose. Let us take overview of these articles first. Yes, first article, amid Bangladesh liberation anniversary, role of India US in 1971 in spotlight. Yes, the article is giving some highlights about the role played by India, how US was going to intervene into that conflict, the 1971 Bangladesh liberation war that happened at that time. This particular incident has a very important significance in post-independence history of India. So, GS1 paper, we have the syllabus point. So, yes, there can be question. So, we have to understand how the developments went on to happen during that time between India and Pakistan, earlier Pakistan, and how the new country was formed, Bangladesh. Millions depend on Tista, Hasina tells Modi. So, here basically a recent meeting of or visit of our Prime Minister Narendra Modi to Bangladesh and the outcome of that visit that we are going to discuss in this particular article. So, international relations perspective, India and its neighborhood, this is the syllabus topic in GS2 paper. So, from that aspect we have to understand these things. China, Iran signed a 25-year strategic pact. So, yes, last year itself it was in news for quite a time. We were expecting this question that yes, the impact of growing China Iran relations or Chinese presence in Middle East region or Arab countries, how it affects India's interests. So, from that part we have to take input here that these new developments that are happening between China and Iran relations. So, international relations GS2 paper. Next, new species of red algae seen in west southeast Indian coast. So, which are these species that we have to understand here, where they grow, what is their significance, economic significance. So, from environment perspective we have to understand and take input here from this article. Dying slowly, basically one article was there about illegal salt mining that was happening, that is happening in Sambar Lake region in Rajasthan. So, article on the magazine, the supplement that we have to the Hindu newspaper on Sunday. So, on page number 6 of that magazine we have some information about that illegal salt mining that is happening. So, here basics about Sambar Lake we are going to understand. Kerry to visit India in April ahead of Biden's climate meet. So, a particular leaders summit 2021 is going to happen, and yes, US president is going to host that meeting. Our prime minister is also invited among all 40 such leaders around the world. This will be a prelude to UNFCCC conference of parties that is going to happen in Glasgow later this year. So, what are these developments that we have to have follow up from environment and international relations perspective. Okay. Now, let us go into details of all these articles. First, yes, amid Bangladesh liberation anniversary, role of India US in 1971 in spotlight. So, post independence history of India. So, before going into details here, let me tell you what kind of question UPSC has already asked in 2013 mains examination from this syllabus point. Critically examine the compulsions which prompted India to play a decisive roles in the emergence of Bangladesh. So, critically examine the compulsions which prompted India. Okay, so in this manner the question was asked. Now, we are going to understand these compulsions, the developments that happened. So, yes, let us go into some background here, that after independence we know that there was division of India, earlier British Indian territory into India and Pakistan, and Pakistan territory was divided into two parts, Western Pakistan, Eastern Pakistan at that time. Okay. Now, there were some concerns by the people living in Eastern Pakistan, largely of them were Bengali speaking people. Okay. And they had some kind of cultural differences with the people living in Western Pakistan. Okay, so what were the concerns in early 20 years up to 1970 that these incidences that led to this liberation war of Bangladesh in 1971? First and foremost was since 1948 itself there was a growing concern and consciousness regarding Bengali speaking people in eastern Pakistan about the national status for Bengali language, national language status for Bengali along with English and Urdu. This was the first we can say the consciousness about the cultural consciousness that was there among the people in eastern Pakistan. Second aspect, in the following years these people living in the eastern Pakistan, they experienced the economic isolation or marginalization as compared to western Pakistan. Many of the funds in the budgets were largely allocated to the projects in the western Pakistan area. The foreign funding that is received by Pakistan largely again that was flowing to the projects in western Pakistan. This is how economic marginalization of eastern Pakistan was done. At the same time, the kind of revenue that was generated from the eastern Pakistan, for example, from the jute production or export, the money was later on, let's say, used for infrastructure development and the government policies implemented in western Pakistan. This is how the kind of, let's say, marginalization, economic marginalization was experienced by the people living in eastern Pakistan, and they were very much angry about this. Now, the crisis situation that happened during 1970, what happened that at that time, general elections in Pakistan in 1970, Mujibur Rahman of Awami League had a clear majority here in Pakistan, because the general elections were common to western Pakistan and eastern Pakistan. And yes, because of this clear majority, it was being, let's say, said that Mujibur Rahman, he should be the prime minister now of Pakistan. However, the military of Pakistan largely having the majority of western Pakistan people or only minority of 5% Bengali officer, they opposed Mujibur Rahman's we can say claim here. Okay, and because of that, yes, the conspiracy was done, and on the night of 25th March 1971, Pakistan Army started the infamous Operation Searchlight. Now, this Operation Searchlight, the army, Pakistan Army had killed the Bangladeshi intellectuals, students, and we can say the civilians. Excuse me. Many people died fighting for the, we can say, liberation war here, and immediately Mujibur Rahman declared the country's independence on 26th March, next day itself. Okay, that's why the 26th March is celebrated as Independence Day of Bangladesh. Okay, and that's why our Prime Minister also used this opportunity to visit 50 years of independence of Bangladesh to Bangladesh. Okay, so yes, this is how we have to understand the developments. Now, what happened after this? Yes, the guerrilla warfare started between the rebellions. We can say that Bangladeshi liberation forces, the Mukti Bahini, and the Pakistan Army. Okay, so during these clashes, many people migrated to save their life into India's territory, especially in West Bengal and Assam. Okay, so millions of refugees took refuge in India, especially in these states. After that, what happened is India's Eastern Command, Army's Eastern Command took over the operations to tackle with this situation, and it launched Operation Jackpot. So, this Operation Jackpot was to train all the Mukti Bahinis and those interested to fight against the Pakistan Army. They were trained, they were given arms and ammunition, and this is how the Operation Jackpot was carried out. Fine. Later on, what happened is on 3rd December, yes, India entered into combat officially on 3rd December when Pakistan attacked India's air bases. Okay, and this is how India entered into this war, and this war continued for only 13 days. Within 13 days, Pakistan army surrendered before India, or Indian army or Mukti Bahinis. Okay, so from 3rd December to 16th December, on which this war continued, Pakistan army surrendered on this 16th December 1971. So during this 13 days, what happened is the international forces were very much concerned and interested to get involved in this bilateral conflict here, and for that matter, even US had moved its 7th fleet into Bay of Bengal. Okay, naval fleet into Bay of Bengal, and yes, our Prime Minister was very much let's say conscious about these developments, and earlier itself our Prime Minister had signed the treaty of, or Indo-Soviet Treaty of Peace and Cooperation with USSR, Russia, we can say USSR at that time. And yes, to some extent it was important for deterring US to enter into this conflict. Fine. So yes, within 13 days this happened, and Pakistan surrendered on 16th December, and later on August 2nd, 1972, India and Pakistan signed Shimla Agreement. Now this is also landmark development. Shimla Agreement, which said that India agreed to agreed to release all 93,000 Pakistani prisoners of war, and at the same time the territories which were covered by Indian army, they were to be returned to Pakistan at that time in western areas along the western boundary. Okay, this is how the developments unfolded during that time. So you need to know the background, the compulsions that you need to understand here. So first compulsion that that was there about the kind of refugee influx that was happening, and instability in region, peace was being disturbed. These were some of the compulsions. At the same time, yes, there were concerns regarding full-fledged India-Pakistan war on two fronts. So these compulsions to some extent help India or forced India to intervene here immediately, and the Bangladesh new country was emerged after this particular war. Okay, so yes, you can take input for GS1 paper here, post-independence history. Moving on, millions depend on Tista, Hasina tells Modi. So Bangladesh Prime Minister Hasina and our Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi, they met here, and the joint statement was released, and in that joint statement some of the concerns were addressed here. Yes, yesterday's The Hindu analysis we had discussed in detail India-Bangladesh bilateral relations, positives and some concerns, challenges, way forward. So those concerns here, how they are being addressed, so that we have to understand the outcome of this bilateral summit or bilateral meeting that happened between the heads of two governments. Yes, first and foremost concern was about Tista river, and surely the Bangladesh Prime Minister again re-emphasized the need of let's say Tista river, and proper share of its water is to be given to Bangladesh, because millions of people in Bangladesh depended on the Tista river, waters of Tista river. Then the two leaders also instructed their ministries of water resources to firm up framework of interim agreement over 6 common rivers. Which are these 6 common rivers? Yes, Monu, Mahuri, Kovai, Gumti, Dharla and Dudh Kumar. Okay, these are the 6 rivers, and they have asked these respective ministries to form up a framework for interim agreement over these 6 common rivers. at the same time, both leaders have agreed that the civilian killings along the border by BSF or armed forces, this is a area of serious concern, and therefore they have asked their respective, let's say, border forces, border guards to initiate people oriented border management. Use such words, people oriented border management, wherein there will be more and more now, let's say, careful or care will be taken, especially for killing of all the, let's say, cattle traffickers are there, or yes, the people oriented border management will be carried out, and they have agreed to bring down the zero killings of civilians in the border areas. This is how the peace in border area is to be maintained. Next is that, yes, surely India has also demanded for early completion of border fencing by the Bangladesh along the border, right. At the same time, if we talk about the economic aspect, Bangladesh has urged India to revive jute sector with investment and through public private partnership. In this regard, Dhaka has urged Delhi to withdraw the duties that were imposed on jute products of Bangladesh since 2017. If we talk about the connectivity, two important developments. First is Mithali Express was inaugurated, a new AC train that will connect Jalpaiguri with Dhaka. So, Jalpaiguri, West Bengal to Dhaka in Bangladesh. This is how the new developments in connectivity. At the same time, Bangladesh has agreed that it will agreed to offer airports of Sylhet and Chittagong for passengers of northeastern states, especially of Tripura. This is going to help them for more connectivity of northeastern states. Okay, so this is the important developments, water sharing, and then border management, and then economic aspect, and then connectivity. Fine. Okay. So, as a follow up to India-Bangladesh bilateral relations, you take input from this outcome of bilateral meeting. Next, again from international relations perspective, China-Iran signed 25-year strategic pact. So, this strategic pact was signed during the Chinese foreign minister meeting to Middle East countries. Now, the details of this pact are not immediately known, but surely it has three important components: political, strategic, and economic components. So, this strategic word is very important here, that surely now the Iran will be the strategic partner of China because of this pact for next 25 years. At the same time, Chinese foreign minister has proposed 5-point program to bring peace and stability in Middle East region. A 5-point initiative in achieving security and stability. What is that? Mutual respect, upholding equity and justice, achieving non-proliferation, jointly fostering collective security, accelerating development cooperation. This is how these words should be used in your answer in IR paper when we talk about development and stability in Middle East region. Okay, like mutual respect. The majority of conflicts are there that these are not having respect for each other, upholding equity and justice, nuclear non-proliferation. This is very important. Jointly fostering collective security is also important. Development cooperation is also important. Now, the China's trade with some of the Arab countries has increased in last many years, and China has become the largest trading partner to these countries with total $240 billion trade with these Arab countries last year. This has become the major buyer of crude oil also from Arab countries. This is how China is increasing its presence in Middle East and Arab countries. What is the let's say we can say syllabus point, or yes, syllabus point itself talks about that all the international relations or developments having impact on India's interest. So, this is to some extent is having impact on India's interest, because recently China had investment in Chabahar port, some of the terminal development and infrastructure development also, which has been yes, important development that India has very much invested in development of Chabahar port, right. So this is how growing Chinese investments or presence, we can say, in Arab countries or Middle East, and how it affects India's interest. This is how you need to prepare one topic, make notes and take developments from this article here. Okay? Yes. Now moving on, new species of red algae seen in West Southeast Indian Ocean. So what are these two species that we have or the scientists, biologists have found? Hypnea indica and Hypnea bullata, these two species of red algae or red seaweeds, Hypnea or red seaweeds. Now the significance is that these Hypnea seaweeds or algae, they contain the biomolecule carrageenan, okay, carrageenan, and which is widely used in food industry. So this is good development, right. So production of these seaweeds, they can be extracted for the use of use in sea industry, economic significance. However, to some extent a threat to these algae is climate change, or we can say increased concentration of CO2 in atmosphere. Why? Because these algae are having some calcareous deposits on their bodies, and this is happening because of calcareous mineral deposits are prone for damage from ocean acidification, aftermath of climate change. So yes, climate change has important impact, and one of them is ocean manifestation, and one of them is the ocean acidification. And here the ocean acidification is going to impact these species of red algae. Okay, so threat to these species is again climate change, ocean acidification. You need to remember the names here. Hypnea indica or Hypnea bullata are the red seaweed species or algae, red algae that are found in Indian Ocean in these areas, and having economic significance. This particular biomolecule carrageenan is used in food industry. Okay, so take input from environment perspective, prelims examination. Next, one article on magazine page number 6 of that supplement, talking about the illegal mining, salt mining that is happening in Sambar Lake region. So basics about Sambar Lake region. First, you can see the location, Rajasthan, location of Sambar Lake here, and you can see the situation of location zoomed in Ajmer, northeast of Ajmer, and we can say near Jaipur, this Sambar Lake is located. Now this is India's largest salt lake, inland salt lake. Okay, it is India's largest inland salt lake. At the same time, it receives water from 5 rivers. Which are these 5 rivers? Metha, Samat, Mantha, Rupangar, Khari, Khandela. So all these are rivers, these are seasonal streams flowing in the Aravallis hills, and the kind of drainage system that we find here is centripetal drainage system. That means the streams from all these surrounding hills are coming and draining into this lake like this. So these lakes basically are playa lakes. Okay, playa lakes in Rajasthan region, these are formed because of centripetal drainage, seasonal drainage, and yes, for that matter you need to know that because of this seasonal nature, it is also useful for salt formation of salt flats. Salt production is very important, and Sambar Lake is one of the most important contributor for salt production in India. Okay. Along with that, it is also important wetland, and it is included in the Ramsar convention list of Ramsar sites of international importance. Okay, so this is information that you need to know. At the same time, it was in news in 2019. Why? Because many migratory birds died in that Sambar Lake region because of avian botulism, the bacterial disease, and that had created some concern because these migratory birds that are migrating from Central Asian region, Siberian region in the winter season in India, these wetlands are important breeding grounds for these migratory birds. So, their conservation is very important, right. So, in this manner you have to understand all these developments and basic information about Sambar Lake. Okay, next. Kerry to visit India in April ahead of Biden's climate meet. Sorry, in addition to this information that we have just now got here, there is one more national park located near this Sambar Lake is Keoladev Ghana National Park. Keoladev Ghana National Park, it is a very important national park for, we can say, or bird sanctuary also. So, important site, nesting site for birds, migratory birds, Keoladev National Park. Next, Kerry to visit India in April ahead of Biden's climate meet. Now, these developments regarding climate summits, environment section, international relations, yes, US President to host this virtual Leaders Summit on Climate. Leaders Summit on Climate on 22nd and 23rd April 2021 with 40 leaders of the world, okay, including India's Prime Minister. So, yes, surely this is the prelude to UNFCCC COP26 that is going to happen or held in Glasgow, UK in November 2021. Here we can understand that the US is going to play leadership role again, because earlier President of US had withdrawn from Paris summit, and now the present US President is willing to come back and join this Paris agreement, and therefore this is going to be very significant development. US again is going to play a leadership role in fight against climate change. Okay, so this is important. At the same time, the US has from time to time kept India at forefront whenever there is cooperation in climate change related we can say developments, agreements. The example, best example is now the recent virtual Quad summit. There was working group on climate change along with vaccine and the critical technologies. We had seen this as a follow up in the earlier the Hindu lectures. So, that particular working group of Quad countries also shows that India is willing to cooperate with or coordinate with India in the fight against climate change. Okay. So, other such South Asian countries and their leaders were invited here, like Bhutan, Bangladesh, and some island nations like Jamaica, Marshall Islands, right. So, yes, they are of concern because whenever there is sea level rise, these countries, island countries, Bangladesh, they are at the mercy here of that sea level rise. At the same time, increased natural disasters, frequency of natural disaster that is happening, that we are seeing because of climate change. Okay, so environment section and international relations, you can have follow up. Leaders Summit, again when this will happen, we will have follow up again in the Hindu analysis. Fine? Okay. So, these were important articles from today's The Hindu newspaper. For further information on editorial discussion classes or ED classes, wherein in-depth analysis of men's related issues and articles is done by Ansari sir and team, you can contact Lukman IAS. Thank you.